On Wednesday, the House Oversight Committee voted to subpoena the testimony of Attorney General Pam Bondi over her department's handling of the Epstein files. Congresswoman Nancy Mace, one of the Republicans who voted to bring Bondi before the panel, saying, quote, "The Epstein case is one of the greatest cover-ups in American history." The slow, selective, and heavily redacted release of the Epstein files only has served to raise bipartisan suspicions about who the Justice Department may be protecting. NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Melanie Zanona has more in our Sunday Focus.
He's been dead for more than 6 years. But the tangled web convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein laid for the rich and powerful is only growing wider. The latest caught up in the controversy, former President Bill Clinton and former First Lady and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, forced to testify in front of the Republican-led House Oversight Committee. The former president, seen in a hot tub with an unnamed woman, denying he did anything wrong.
I don't know who that is.
So did you engage in any sexual activity with this person?
Mrs. Clinton testifying she never met Epstein.
I am so tired of answering that question. If you have one scintilla of evidence to the contrary, put it forward. I have never been on his island, period. I've never been in his homes, his offices, his anything.
The Clintons are not accused of any wrongdoing. Democrats argue now it's time to hear from President Trump.
Republicans have now set a new precedent, which is to bring in presidents and former presidents to testify. We are now asking and demanding that President Trump officially come in and testify in front of the Oversight Committee.
The president is mentioned over and over in the Epstein files, but is not accused of any crime, amid allegations by his critics that the DOJ is trying to protect him.
Let me be blunt. There's a massive cover-up going on in the Justice Department to protect Donald Trump and people associated with Jeffrey Epstein.
The department released a new batch of documents this week that had been temporarily removed or missing, including summaries and notes from 3 separate interviews the FBI conducted with a woman who made sex abuse allegations against both Epstein and Trump. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt telling NBC News these are completely baseless accusations backed by zero credible evidence, also supported by the obvious fact that Joe Biden's Department of Justice knew about them for 4 years and did nothing with them. After a contentious hearing last month,
the Dow right now is over. The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing.
The Republican-led House Oversight Committee voted to subpoena Attorney General Pam Bondi to testify about the controversial document dump.
I have a lot more questions, and I don't expect to be talking about the stock market, so she better not bring those notes when she comes to the Oversight Committee.
In Europe, accountability has come at a faster pace. Former Prince Andrew and former British ambassador to the U.S. Peter Mandelson were arrested on suspicion of misconduct in office. Both deny the allegations. Here at home, some big names in Hollywood, academia, and business are facing backlash over their ties to Epstein. Microsoft founder Bill Gates saying their relationship was, quote, a big mistake. Former Clinton Treasury Secretary Larry Summers resigning from Harvard. And entertainment executive Casey Wasserman, the head of LA's Olympic Committee, facing calls to step down. All of this as some of Epstein's survivors and their family members say their mission for justice is far from over.
Today we say to this administration and to the nation that survivors deserve to be seen. We will not be moved, we will not be silenced, and we will not go away.
The big question, will President Donald Trump be forced to testify? So far, Republicans in Congress seem unlikely to make him do that, but that could change if Democrats win back the House after this year's midterms. Meanwhile, Trump's Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has agreed to testify over his ties to Epstein, but he has denied any wrongdoing. Willie.
An important story that is not going away, despite some very powerful people wishing it would. Melanie, thanks so much.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.